Hey, what is up? What is up, YouTube gaming family? It is IK right here, back at it with another video for y'all today. I'm gonna cover some Mortal Kombat 1 content. Shout out to Do Gaming Z. He had a pretty good live stream last night. Please go check him out. He was playing some good old Ninja Gaiden 4 and Mortal Kombat 1. He had a little double header gaming stream. So yeah, let's get right to it, man. In today's video, we're gonna be breaking down, everything that's going on with the state of Mortal Kombat 1. I think this is a really good time to kind of acknowledge what's going on with the game, and I think the game is officially dead. And I'm going to explain why this game is dead, and Mortal Kombat does not take any skill to win. And I think this is very important to explain because this game really has a lot of issues, and sadly, I think there's really no turning back from this game. So before I do that, be sure to smash that like button and share this video. Share this video like around. So yeah, let's get right into it. My whole take on this whole thoughts is that I think this game is horrible. No lobbies, no balancing with certain characters that are broken that can do basically random shit to basically get rewarded for being dumb. And I think it's horrible. I think this game does not hold any weight with what is to be offered. And I don't think it's fair that, you had to spend your money playing this game, and this game does not offer you the best online experience for what you have. I think the servers are terrible. I think the gameplay is very laggy. You're not able to really get your combos down effectively because like the input lag is so bad in the game. So it's like, you're going out of like your way to, go like basically you're having to go out of like your way to guess right if you do a proper combo. And even if you do everything correctly to be smart, the opponent gets all this free mix up, which I think is really shitty for the game. I think this game just has way too much offensive chipping to give enemies, well, to give your opponents or players the ability to play very, how should I say, very, very unsafe and playing very brain dead to the point where you can just do whatever the hell you want and you get rewarded for it because as long as you have the right cameo to get those proper, chip damage for you to win, that gives you the ability to be successful in what you want to do. And I find that to be very unfair because, this game does not. Wait, hold on. Like, I'm sorry. I should have skipped that ad. This game does not give you the proper, the proper mechanics to actually play very smart. And if a cameo is to determine like who's going to win the game, then I don't find that shit to be funny. I don't find that to be good. I don't find it to be actually, entertaining. Like there's nothing to really like laugh about this, which, like I should have just said fun. But I accidentally said funny. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm just trying to wake up from having to get like a good long nap. Um my whole take on this is that this game deserves better, but the franchise deserves a lot more criticism. And the thing is that we do not have a proper community with the MK community where so many people play this stupid mind game of being mentally retarded. And I think it's very disingenuous that we have to have a organization like NRS to not care about the fans. And therefore, it's basically, at the whim of not giving the fans what we pay for. And I think it's very disingenuous that we actually have, something like that where, we don't really have much of a say with what's being done. Because for those of y'all that don't know, I mean, Warner Brothers controls NRS, and Warner Brothers has a long history with not caring about Mortal Kombat games. And I think it's very obvious to show that if they don't care about what the game is to be programmed for, where you have all these broken teams that people play, whether that's, you know, I don't know, Natara Sonya, Scorpion Pharah. Like I see like really meta dog teams like Raiden Kano, or also, I don't know, Sindel Kano, or Sindel Tremor, or Pharah, Homelander Pharah, Omni Man Pharah, Omni Man Sonya. Like, dude, like these teams are just so cancerous and so mentally retarded. But it's just clearly showing, like, dude, this franchise is just going to the fucking drain, man. Like, there's nothing to say that you can be a happy Mortal Kombat fan by saying that this game is fine because MK1 is just a game that just gives you a lot of mix up, like, opportunity potential. And I find that shit to be very boring because it's like, who wants to waste their time, who wants to waste their time and fucking money playing a game that's not going to reward them on defense and actually give them more combo opportunities to play smart. Because, like, the truth is like, I think as of right now, Mortal Kombat is just going through like a phase right now where NRS is not having to give us the proper content because they're probably being forced by Warner Brothers to actually be smart with what they're having to produce. So they're having to rush a lot of content. So therefore, Warner Brothers can give NRS newer games to produce. And I know that Warner Brothers, they basically hold like a massive, I wouldn't say a monopoly on gaming. Well, I mean, they not only do it for games, but they do it for comic books, they do it for movies, um, TV shows, most likely. Warner Brothers is huge, and they could very well expand to many different markets if they want to. But when it comes to like the television broadcasting industry, along with like the gaming industry and the comic book industry, Warner Brothers is a massive corporate dog in what they do. So I think when we talk about like corporatism at its finest, Warner Brothers is a huge company that can easily destroy a lot of businesses if they had it their way. But that doesn't always work like that with every corporation. Corporations, they do have to listen to consumers and they do have to follow a certain model that they have to go by. So it's like they just can't go out of it their way being foolish with giving out crappy product, because that's clearly not true. Like, businesses are still they're still at the mercy of consumers, and if consumers choose not to buy their product because their product is trash, then those corporations have to think fast, or else they will lose a lot of money. So anytime that they're having to lose more money means that they're not able to continue their next investment on the next project that they want to do. So the only reason why you ever see a company like NRS actually doing what they do is simply because Warner Brothers, they're having to fund all that income into their budgeting for what they're allowed to do, but they have such a limited time frame on how they produce, their particular product. Hold on, give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. So yeah, like the whole deal is that when you look at Warner Brothers, they are a massive business that focuses on the nature of telling a company like NRS to give them the product that people want to pay for. And if you don't like it, then guess what? That's basically it. Because Warner Brothers, they basically call the shots on how games are going to be produced or how movies will actually be produced. And they will go out of their way to do whatever they need to do to be successful, because that's how Warner Brothers operates. So, I mean, that's just how I see it. There's really nothing to it. If you guys disagree with that, I just look at it to be like, that is corrupted corporatism at its finest, because that's the same thing with like Walmart. Walmart's such a major conglomerate with so many other corporate firms that, can you really say if they underperform, that it's really their fault when they give you a bad product? Like, Walmart has other puppets that control them, in the sense of, everything that Walmart does. Like, they have like a massive, market. So, I mean, to me, like, when it comes to like the argumentation that corporations are, too big to fail. Wait, hold on, give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. So, yeah, basically the whole thing about Warner Brothers is that um, this this massive corporation, like any other corporations do, is that they go off of a model in which they have to serve the customers in terms of giving the product to what the customers pay for. And if it means that the customer product is having to be operated in terms of what the customers are wanting to pay for, then therefore the business model of any corporation is to give the customers what they want at the expense of producing the lowest price possible for what is to be feasible, to the customer. So, in my honest opinion, when it comes down to it, any company having to operate on the model of producing the most supply for the highest level of demand, obviously without the supply chain, well, no, without the yeah, with the supply and demand model with basic economic understanding, is that you have to be smart with how you're prioritizing your funds out to, out to your core, audience base, because there will be times where there will be droughts on what is to be, spent for your particular, business. So you have to be smart with what your business is having to, produce, with how much time and resources that you are allowed to go out of your way to fund those particular resources. So I just think that makes perfect sense, because it's like, not everybody is going to be, sustainable with, managing such a massive, task with what, a massive company is trying to tell you what to do, and trying to tell you that they need to have this project done by a certain deadline. And not everything will get done, on like, on a like, on time, unless there's proper, management, to be given enough time, where both companies, that being NRS and Warner Brothers, having to work together to produce the product, as effectively as possible. So that's just how I see it. I mean, when it comes to, oh wait, hold on, give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. So back to what I was trying to say is that businesses like a Warner Brothers follows a very strict model, having to tell other co-opted businesses like NRS to finish products in a very timely manner. And whether if the product is good or bad, it only focuses on on the measurement of if the consumers are going to buy it, and therefore the product is still going to be properly sold at a good measurement of what meets the supply and demand margin. Then therefore that is a success to the corporation that ends up, successing in how much sales that are going to be brought into that product, no matter what the outcome is. So as long as some income is being made, and it measures out to what is to be required out of that product to just get the sales out of it, then that's what will be put into any project that's having to be done, regardless of how much money is having to be lost or how much wealth is to be produced. So personally, with me, when it comes down to it, MK1 is a very crappy product that a lot of fans ended up buying, including myself, because I thought this game would be a good game. But the thing was is that, Mortal Kombat fans haven't seen a new MK game since MK11. And MK11 has been out since like 2017, right? So basically from like 2017 up until 2023, which, to a certain degree, like MK has been out. Well, MK1, like as far as like the amount of time that it took for MK1 to be particularly released, that took at least a good, I'm just trying to do the math here. That took at least a good like 5 to 6 years. Because if you want to like be consistent, like I mean, actually 6 years. Because 2017 to 2020, 3 years, and then 2021, 2022. Yeah, so at least at least 6 years. Like it took at least 6 years for MK1 to actually come out. And hold on, let me pause the video and I can go back and see when did MK11 drop and how long it took for MK1 to come out. Hold on. All right, I'm back. So yeah, I actually stand corrected. I actually looked back at my information and I found out that MK11 was released on April 23rd of 2019. So I mean, to a particular degree, MK11 pretty much had, well, the game pretty much had a good lifespan up until I want to say like after 2021 or 2022. So I mean, the game had only been out for that time frame up until 2023 for the next MK game to come out, which that took at least like what 2019 to 2020, 2021, 2022. So yeah, that took at least 4 years for the next MK game to drop, that being MK1. So now that we're here in our second year, from 2023 to 2025, I mean this game is pretty much it's supposed to be like a good young game to be out, but it's not doing well. So now it's already failing in its second year, and there's really nothing to really say out of this game other than it's a total mess. I mean, there's really nothing to say more about it. Um, if you guys really want to say it, it's still successful because there's still players that are online that still play Combat League. I mean, that's not really something to really be proud of. I mean, Combat League is really trash as it is, and there's really no incentive to actually get good at the game. If they actually had like, let's just say rank lobbies where if you reach like a certain rank, or actually no, not even that. If you have lobbies and you have them competitive where, let's just say if you get like X amount of wins while you're sitting in the lobby, you'll get like, I don't know, dragon crystals, or you can get actual skins where the game will actually reward you with like premium level skins. Like personally with me, if they did something like that, I would have enjoyed that a lot. Um, if they had like a 2v2 tag team mode, it would have been a lot better because the game would have been a lot more competitive and a lot more fun if they did something like that. Wait, hold on, let me pause. All right, I'm back. So yeah, back to what I was saying. Like, if the game actually provided like more opportunity for you to get more incentives while doing everything that you're supposed to do to be successful, that would be pretty good. Like, I mean, it would be good if you had something like that to kind of go out and actually succeed at that particular level. So, I mean, the fact that it did not have that is just absolutely terrible. I think invasion should have been replaced with the crypt. If you had like an open world crypt where you were able to like fight monsters and you were able to like basically explore the whole world to see what the realms look like Outworld, Earth Realm, Chaos Realm, Zetera, understanding all those realms to see what these realms are really like about. That would be pretty cool. I mean, in my honest opinion, I think that's something that the game should have had a long time ago. So, like, instead of having invasions, they should have took that shit out and just had the crypt be in the game, and then the crypt just automatically updates every single patch, where you can get premium level skins after you've like acquired, like I don't know, like X amount of gold or X amount of I don't know, Combat League season points. Like you can do something like that. So, I mean, if they did something like that, that would have made the game a lot more fun. So, I think NRS should have done something like that. Also, they should have had all the MK Deception modes like Motor Combat, Mortal Kombat Chess Combat. Um, you could have also had maybe like other modes like Test Your Might Combat, where you could face people online by like doing like a Test Your Might type of thing. or test your luck. Test your luck. Like, I'm sorry. I mean, you could still do test your might. You could do like a test your might competition to kind of like see how many test your might completions that you can get within like a certain time frame. That would be pretty cool if you did something. Yeah, if you did something like that, or if you did like Mortal Kombat puzzle combat. I would like to see that. If anything, I wouldn't mind like a Mortal Kombat Conquest mode. They should have brought that back. Conquest mode was actually very fun. So if they had something like that, I think NRS would have been literally in the driver's seat to being really successful with what they did. So personally, with me, I think this is a lessons learned type of game because this game should have been a really good game to play. I was really hyped for this game. I thought this game was going to be really fun, and sadly, we don't have like a very good game. The defensive mechanics are horrible. People just basically spam with the most broken BS combos that you could ever think of, and I don't find that to be fun. I don't find it that you could have this piece of shit player like a Rain player playing like a dog with Rain and Cyrax, and then somehow that gives him the like ability to basically play stupid, and then they get rewarded for being for being dumb. So, I mean, that's really like my main issue. The balancing in the game is really horrible, where you don't have players like Sub Zero. Um, yeah, like you don't have characters like Sub Zero having any means to like open anybody up with a proper combo that's safe. And then on top of that, his abilities are terrible, where the only thing that's ever keeping him alive is basically, I don't know, the ice clone at certain times, like, of a battle. And then the ice clone is basically broken because, the character or the enemy doesn't freeze off of a fucking reaction. You actually have to be smart when you use ice clone. You can't just spam it and somehow, the enemy is going to get frozen because the enemy can just use like a back forward, yeah, like a back four or like a back three to basically glitch through the ice clone where they don't get frozen, which is so stupid, by the way. But I mean, there's just so many instances where you can see like a character like Sub Zero that clearly needs buffs for the character to be actually purely strong to the point where you can use all of Sub Zero's like abilities to be very successful, and yet NRS decides to make him horrible, where you're not able to use Ice Clone properly. You can't throw the Ice Clone, so you can actually use it as a secondary projectile. So your Ice Ball is shit. You don't have an Ice Axe, so therefore you don't have the Ice Axe that Kuai Liang had from MK like 11 Sub Zero. So you can't throw axes from the air, or you can't even throw them while you're sitting on the ground. I think Sub Zero should have had something like that. It would have been good if he actually had his ice parry in the game, where like if you hit him, he automatically freezes you, and he can launcher you into like a into a combo, or he just freezes you. He can freeze you similar to like what the ice ball does, and then if you want to spend like a bar for it, he can launcher you right into a like a setup combo. Like, I mean, there's so many buffs that NRS could have done to characters that actually needed it. Instead, no, they decided to buff characters like Natara, where she needed like a damage buff for some stupid reason, and she could just, infinitely mix you up with with one or two hits, and then somehow that's considered balance. It's balance for a dog shit Natara player to go out of her way to play like an absolute dog, where Natara players claim to say that they're so good at playing this game, and yet, you're not good at playing this game. You clearly have like a skill issue. Hold on, give me 1 second. Alright, I'm back. So, yeah, basically, back to what I was saying. Like, you have all these piece of shit Mortal Kombat players that are not even good at playing the game, but these people are basically like MK11 scrubs that come into the game where all they do is basically spam the most broken characters, and then they call themselves good because the thing is that they don't have to worry about actually thinking smart, in the game. So these are players that are being given the opportunity from NRS to use their favorite characters, like I don't know, characters like Natara using Farah or Sonya, or let's just say Kitana with Jax, which is broken. Jax is a broken cameo where he has like the unblockable, ground pound that's actually full screen, by the way. So I find that to be really stupid and dumb. But it's like, if you mean to tell me like that's good Mortal Kombat gameplay, and somehow that's fair, no, that's not fair. Cameos are absolutely horrible for the game, and I don't think that's a good plausible argument to say that cameos deserve to be in the game when they're absolutely terrible. So, I mean, to me personally, um, there's really nothing that you could say that's really good about what Mortal Kombat is doing, because MK1 is not like any other MK game where you actually have to think on your own, because you know you're playing 1v1 with like another player. So, yeah, I mean, my whole take is just there's nothing to be happy for saying this game is good because this game did not live up to the expectation of what the consumers wanted, to actually pay for. So, yeah, with that being said, I mean, the Mortal Kombat community is garbage. The players are garbage, and there's no actual respect for the Mortal Kombat player base. So, I mean, that's just my personal like opinion. So, I mean, that's just how I see it. So, yeah, I mean, now that I got that out the way, I would say what's really next for NRS is that this game has to fail. There's really nothing else that this game can ever be saved from. Like, even if they try to like I don't know, even if they try to like make the game like balanced to the point where you could actually like do whatever you want, and your character that you actually do main is actually good in the game, it's still not gonna save like the game from like what it could have been, where you have like a really like I don't know, you have like a really poor audience that doesn't care about fixing the game. They just care that their game is actually broken enough for their character, so they can shit on other players, and then they can just basically play stupid. That's exactly what it's like. That's exactly what this game has really been catered to. It's a party game. It's not a real competition-based game. If you want to compare this game to any other crappy Mortal Kombat game, I would say it's just as bad as what Mortal Kombat. Like, I don't even know, man. Like, honestly, compared to like any 3D era Mortal Kombat game, like this game is definitely bottom tier. Like, this game does not provide you any proper defensive mechanics. Like, you can't even play this game smart. So, I mean, compared to any other Mortal Kombat game, like those games are fine, but they still have their dirty, broken mechanics in the game. But with MK1, it's like this game is absolutely astronomical, like astronomically, horrendous. So, with that, I would say the MK community needs to die out. This community is absolutely trash, and this game does not deserve anything but disrespect. And I don't think we need to ever have like a game like this. We need cameos at the game. Like, honestly, we just need this game to just be like, basically the next MK game needs to just be, your standard 1v1 game, and just make the game simple. Make the game competitive, utilize whatever you need to do with your decision making. Give every character, like a proper, mechanic where they're able to use their mids, use their highs, use their lows effectively, and also give every character like a proper wake up where every character can wake up with a proper, you know, with like a proper move to basically reset with the gameplay, depending on whether it's in the neutral or very up close. I think that's something that they need to do better with that. And then if they do that, I think the next Mortal Kombat game will definitely be like another Golden Age game. And I think this game could have had the opportunity to do so, but NRS decided not to make this game any better because, again, they were definitely on a time, they were on a time lapse, or they were on like a time limit with, with the other company, Warner Brothers, having to tell them what to do. So I don't blame them that they were basically on a time crunch to kind of get this game together. But while they were balancing out this game, they could have just made this game a lot more balanced, where characters aren't doing all this crazy mix-up that you see right now. And, you actually have like a game that actually caters to a proper, mechanic structure where players actually have to think with what they're doing. So that's my personal like opinion on that. And I would hope in the next MK game we have like weapon combat from like MK Deception, and then we also have like proper moves that characters can utilize, and then we can just like make the game like more fun in terms of every character has their own identity, and you have to be smart with like your character. You can't just use all these broken mix-up combos. I think like like the blocking system in Mortal Kombat needs to be a lot more stronger. Where like if you try to flawless block somebody, while they're doing a actual combo, that would be really good. So if you had something like that, that would really make like, the game more fun. So I think if they do that, that's really going to make like, the game more competitive. And who knows? We'll probably get to see like the game actually succeed. So I mean that's just how I see it, man. So yeah, for the most part, F Mortal Kombat players for the most part. Most of the community is trash. All these piece of shit players that play like dogs are absolutely terrible. And wait, hold on. All right, I'm back. So yeah, basically, yeah, like most of these players are absolutely dog shit, and this game is an absolute disaster. Like I don't give two fucks about this game. I've hit demigod twice on this game playing Combat League. I've actually came close to hitting god ranks, but that shit doesn't even matter, bro. It's like this game does not reward you for playing smart. This game basically punishes you for being smart. And then if you do stupid shit in the games, surprisingly, you end up losing because well, no, if you do stupid shit in the game, you get rewarded for being dumb, and you can get away with you can get away with the most broken shit in the game. Whether you're playing Omni-Man, Homelander, T1000, all these crappy ass characters that people like to spam online, they're absolute fucking dog shit. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I just wanted to give you guys like my little TED talk. And yeah, man, I got more videos coming out, and I will see you guys later. Peace. And definitely share these videos around, and I will see you guys later, and I appreciate the support. So yeah, this is K-Rod signing out, and I will see you guys later. Peace.